What it do, YouTube? Now, today is actually going to be a very quick episode of the podcast. Just a little update slash talk about the things that I've been doing and also the things that are to come. First of all, if you're watching this video, please like, subscribe, do all that. It takes 5 seconds. It is free and it does numbers for me and doesn't detriment you at all. By the way, my intros are never long, so I'm gonna just get right into it. I am on cloud nine right now. There is a development. I wouldn't say a development. There is just a reception of things that have happened recently that I cannot describe to you. Like how amazing this feels, how loved I feel, and just how relieved I feel. For those of you that either don't know or did not witness it, this past Saturday on February 1st, I had my Midknight movie premiere at Houston Lake Cinemas in Warner Robins, Georgia. Now, this premiere was a film that we put together. We spent almost 5.5 years putting together this feature-length film. We started writing in October of 2019. We started writing in October of 2019, started filming in August of 2020, and finished filming in, I want to say either May or June of 2021. And everything since 2021 has just been post-production, music, editing, all that stuff. And guys, we sold out a movie theater. We sold out a movie theater to see the amount of love, to see the amount of support, and just overall turnout that came to the theater was absolutely amazing. And I honestly couldn't have asked for a better experience for my very first independent film premiere. And it was just a sight to behold. It almost looked like we had more customers than the actual theater themselves, which I think within that few hours that we were in the theater, I think that might be a true statement. It was just wonderful and beautiful, and seeing so many people come out and enjoy the film that we spent so much time, effort, and just commitment putting together. It was honestly just it was a night to remember, and that's not an understatement. We sold out a movie theater for our feature film, and it was just beautiful, man. When I tell you, in the span of 30 minutes, I don't think I've ever taken that many pictures and signed that many posters in my life. The amount of people wanting to take pictures with me, the amount of people wanting for me to sign, their posters or pamphlets, merchandise, anything like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I won't even say if. Whenever I would become, a celebrity that like hundreds of thousands of people know, to be in a situation to where I'd be like signing and just meeting people who are fans of mine or fans of whatever project I'm a part of. I can honestly see how that could be possibly draining, especially since I had just been out all day, and then all week was a process. I don't think a lot of people understand the process that it is as independent, like on our own, a group of young adults trying to put a film in a movie theater. There's a lot that goes into it. It's almost extremely taxing. For an entire month, we had to do screening after screening after screening. There were hiccups, there were glitches, there were errors, problems with the file, and then last minute it almost seemed like it wasn't even going to go through because out of nowhere the theater was like, look, if this film doesn't run smoothly all the way through with no hiccups by basically 6 days before the premiere, we're not going to show your film. And they said that basically 2 days before the deadline that they set. And man, my boy Philip was stressing. I was stressing a little bit, and it was just so much going on. And then literally, like, when I tell you crunch time, clutch, final seconds of the game, it finally went through without a hitch, and it went smooth and stuff. And Philip told me he cried, and I was like, man, if I was there during that one, I would have cried too. And then we even had test screenings throughout the week after we, basically edited to where it didn't have any errors and stuff like that. And I just don't think a lot of y'all understand how much really goes into setting something like that up. And it was just, man, the amount of people that showed up and showed love and watched the film, gave their love and standing ovation after it was done. It was just so, it was a beautiful thing. It was definitely a staple moment, just not only in my career, but in my life in general. Knowing that, not gonna lie, I had a speech after the film was done, and I did address that. I apologized to like people, because I honestly didn't expect the turnout that we had. I didn't expect to get as many tickets as we did, let alone sell out a theater. And then, to know that we have that many people supporting us and willing to see our vision through to the end was something that, I'll love and cherish, going forward for sure. Because man, to see a theater full of people watching your film that you spent so long on, I mean, I can repeat this all day and just know that that's just the grand scope of things, where it's, a couple days later and still, well, a couple days later, it's like a day later, and I'm still processing everything that's happened. And it's just, it was just a blessing. It was a beautiful thing. And then, like I said, man, the amount of stuff I signed, the amount of signatures I gave, the amount of pictures I took with people, it was surreal. It was definitely a surreal feeling. And what's crazy is a lot of people see this as, kind of one of those like, oh, this is like the big thing. And then what's funny is, people like me and Philip, who are really, I think something fell in my closet. Oh, well, me and Philip, people that are like, thinking of what's next and trying to get to the next thing. We have so many things lined up that we plan on doing in the near future and far future, and we're just excited to get to the next one. And I think that's where that big feeling of relief I talked about earlier comes in, where like I'm just so relieved that this is done, so now we can focus on what's next. And what's next is going to be so much bigger than what we had now. And like I said, just to see the support and love that we have for this, knowing what's about to come, man, all I got to say is I love what we're doing, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And, I'm not going to reiterate my speech that I said during the end, after the end credits or anything, but just know that I had one of my friends, they said that I had a Kanye moment. A good Kanye moment, because I was like, Kanye moment, dang, I didn't know it was like that. But no, they told me that it was like that I guess we'll never know type Kanye energy. And you know what? I've made the decision that I'm going to stick with that energy. Like that confidence, that almost delusional, like, yeah, almost a delusional confidence in myself and the people around me. Because, there's been quite a few videos I watched where like, so some celebrities are like, yo, low key, you kind of have to be delusional to make it, because you have to have an utmost confidence about yourself and keep going and grinding. And you're going to run into a lot of obstacles and setbacks and stuff like that. And the only people that are really going to make it through there are the people that have the wills to power through those obstacles and really like drive home that, yeah, this is what I'm meant for and this is what I'm going to do. And sometimes that requires a little bit of delusion, a little bit of overconfidence, not cockiness, not narcissism, but just a little bit of overconfidence. And I think that I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to channel that for as long as I can. And yeah, man, it was just so beautiful. I got into this spiel extremely quick. If you know me and if you've been with watching my videos, you know that whenever I do a podcast, I always have I think a wine with me. Now it's a celebration. It's a beautiful end to the weekend, and man, it's just been a moment to celebrate. So, instead of my normal red wines, I got, of course, one of my favorite wine bands, Josh. I got Chardonnay. This was all inspired by Lil Marvin Gaye Chardonnay. So I'm going to open that. And without further ado, well, I'm already like, what, 11, 12 minutes into this? So there's not much of an intro left. But I did want to just, get into the other things I wanted to talk about in this podcast. Like I said, it's going to be a short one. It's just going to be more so catered to my passion, my passions and my vision going forward into this next step of my acting career. Because, like I said, this past premiere, selling out the theater and showing Midnight, the film Midnight, it was just one of those things where, like I said, it's a stepping stone. It's a very big stepping stone. Yes, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it, seem smaller than it actually is, but there's so much more in store and more visions that we have for what's coming up that I want to talk about. Now, I won't reveal all of it because there are some things that I really do want to keep hidden as of right now and don't want to divulge too much information. For one, Midnight will have a sequel. Now, there's a lot of visions that we have for what's going on. Lionel was good. Yo, I was just talking about, man, I don't know if you've seen my stories or anything, but dog, we sold out a theater. We sold out a movie theater for our feature film premiere, and it was absolutely beautiful. This past Saturday, February 1st, we sold out a theater for our independent film, and I've never taken that many pictures and signed that many posters in my life, dog. Like it was great. But yes, Midnight will have a sequel. It will have a sequel. It's going to be called Nightfall. And mind you, for those of you that do not know, mostly talking to the live because I probably put captions and stuff on the YouTube video, but it is Night with a K, like Knight in Shining Armor, Midnight, and then the sequel is going to be Nightfall. I played a supporting lead role in Midnight, and my character will be a lead role for Nightfall. Carlik said, "Congrats" or "my condolences." Tell him to keep his condolences because they ain't nothing. They ain't nothing to be sad about. So yeah, tell him either say congrats or say nothing at all, because that's the only thing we accepting over here is congratulations, because it's a celebration. Yeah, yes sir. That's exactly what we're doing. But yeah, there's gonna be a sequel. We're currently in the middle of writing. There's like at least there's a film, 2 films, a series, and a short film that I am currently. He said he hating. That's fine. That's fine. Guess what? One of the things I like to tell people is that you doing something when you got haters. So I appreciate it. I appreciate Carlik for feeding into the thing that shows me that it's getting real. That movement is being made. But I appreciate Carlik. Much love, man. But yeah, me and Philip, we're in the middle of creating a lot of things. Not only the sequel to Midnight, but there's another project that we're working on, which is going to start with a movie, and then it's going to be a series that fleshes out more of the series, more the story. And I'm just excited. I mean, yeah, I've already mentioned things that I'm like writing my book and stuff, and other things that I'm doing. I have a a job where I'll be modeling for a new clothing line coming up in April. But I guess I wanted to just more so focus on like the acting aspect of everything. The work that it took to put in for this feature film, writing in it, acting in it. Like I said, we started writing this in October of 2019. We were in a Waffle House coming up with ideas, writing this down. My friend Jacob Takis, who is the owner of Deserted Cinemas, this was originally his like idea that he brought to us, and then we all just collaborated and took it and turned it into something completely different. And if you don't know, Midnight is a film to bring awareness to like human trafficking and stuff like that. So there's a lot of explicit, not only language but graphic violence and graphic, I guess, scenery within the film, but it's all for a purpose, not only to bring awareness, but, to entertain and inform, is what we always want to do with our films. We don't want our films to be, just brain rot or, not have any information that people can take away from it. But that's definitely what we wanted to do with it. And honestly, I feel like that's what we did. And like I said, it was beautiful. And what's funny is watching the film. Like I said, I've watched this film in the last month at least 10 times. I've watched it at least 10 times. Philip has watched it probably twice that many, especially with the whole editing and, rendering and stuff that he had to do. And I originally thought that I wasn't going to be able to sit down. Like maybe for the first 30 minutes of the film, I didn't even sit down. I was just standing up at the entrance to the theater. And I finally sat down and watched it, and I kept my eyes glued to the theater screen. And what's funny was I was cool. As soon as the credits hit and people started like clapping and cheering, when I tell you, like, immediately I almost broke down. I almost broke down. And I walked up to the front as people were cheering, and they started to get louder, and they kept cheering, and they got louder and louder, and I had to turn away from the audience, and I was like, I'm in the credits. Yes, you are. My little brother Horace just joined the live. I will say this. What's funny is, like, saying that someone's been there since day one can be overstated, but my brother was there on the very first day of filming when we had a completely different cast, when we had not as much direction as what we were doing, and then he was there on the very last day of filming. And of course he had things to do in between, so he wasn't there all the time, but shout out to Horace, man. That dude, to show love and interest in not only my passion but wanting to help out behind the scenes. I didn't say this in my speech, or I didn't tell him in person. I'm saying this right now, but Horace, I love you, bro. And, I love that you've shown a level of support that, I won't try to compare people and compare what they do, but he has shown that support since day one. So shout out to him. And, just the emotions that just washed over me when those credits hit and people were cheering was just amazing. And then of course led into the speech that I said, had my little Kanye moment. But yeah, the Nightfall, the sequel we're making, like I said, the movie that will turn into the series, that one will probably be the really, really big one. Well, I can't even say the really big one, because I feel like the sequel that we're writing, are y'all showing it again? Honestly, with the turnout that we had, and the amount of people that approached us afterwards talking about like what we could do with like theaters in their hometown or other theaters, it's a possibility that we'll show it again. It just won't be in Warner Robins, but it's definitely a big possibility that we'll show it again, because like I said, just the reception that we got and the feedback and everybody, coming out and showing their support, it's now a possibility that we will premiere it again. And then also there's a lot of people that weren't able to come this time, whether it be last minute stuff happened or they weren't able to just make it in the first place. It's definitely possible. But yeah, when it comes to just writing, I was gonna say that this is the big one, the movie that will also like branch off into a series. But Nightfall, the sequel to Midnight, we have plans to try and sell the script and also try to like keep rights and of course have a hand in making it. I believe since we have a first film that shows the whole background to that sequel, that's decent quality, with a $25,000 budget, mind you. $25,000 sounds like a good little chunk to the average person, but when it comes to making films, that is almost nothing. That is like the smallest of budgets when it comes to like making films, especially with the quality that our film was. I had people come up to me after the film that know people in LA that make films like professionally and stuff like that, literally tell me that what they just watched was better than what they seen in LA. So that right there was another thing that proved to me that even with the minimal resources and money that we had, we created something great. We did the damn thing. So just to know that we have the skills to do that, if we get our hands on more money, on a bigger budget, if we get hands on a couple more assets and people that we can network with, the things that we could create, endless, like no telling. And then, like I said, we have brilliant minds that worked with this. Like I said, me, Philip, and Jacob wrote this film. We wrote it, the three of us. And we got people telling us it's better than blockbuster stuff that they've seen. So, I said this in my speech. I said, like, ain't no more doubts in this no more. Like, with seeing everything and how everything turned out, there's no more like, oh, maybe, oh, like, what if, oh, no, like, I'm done with that. It's only thinking forward and only thinking that, like, not if this happens, but when it happens. Or not thinking if we can do this, but how we can do this. And this experience has definitely shifted my mentality a little bit. And like I said earlier, definitely channeling that inner Kanye. I plan on doing so. And then, with coming up, making, working on these, future projects, we have a lot of things going into it. We're going to take our time. I won't say that Midnight was rushed in like the writing process, but it was definitely a quick one. It was a quick writing process, especially for a film of that length. An hour and 54 minutes is long. And that's not how long the initial draft was. The initial draft was well over 2 hours. And, Philip, he helped edit and cut it down so it wouldn't be as long, but it's still an hour and 54 minutes final product. And I like I said, we started writing in October of 2019. We started filming in August of 2020. So maximum 10 months. 10 months of writing. And for a film of that scale, some people will write for a lot longer. Blind Spotting was a great movie, hour and 30 minutes. And the dudes who made that spent 10 years writing that. 10 years. And we wrote something, of a not larger scale, but something of a larger grand, like I would say larger scale of story, mind you, because we had to basically create something, build up, a idea / world where the main components, the main components of the story encompasses a wide region, has a larger story, has so many things that add to it. And, not to take away from Blind Spotting, but Blind Spotting took a place in like one little city and had a story of a couple people that lived within that city. What we made, like I said, encompasses a very large story / like area. And to, spend maximum 10 months writing that and filming it. The longest process of this was the editing. the editing, the music, the putting things together post production. Because if we could, like, I'll say this: if we could do all the editing like that, this film would have premiered 3.5 years ago. 3.5 years ago. And like I said, what we were doing, it took 5.5 years from start to finish. So that just shows you how much goes into the after effects, the post production, the composition, the editing, the mixing, all that. A lot of people just don't understand how much goes into that post production, and that's why you can have, cast can be like 3-4 people long, but then you see, at the end credits of the movies, you stay around for the visual effects, the sound effects, all those things that go on in the credits. Like hundreds of people go into that, so that's a lot of stuff that goes into that post-production, and most of that post-production was done by one person, Philip. He deserves more recognition and more congratulations than anyone involved with this film. Hands down. There's no question. The stress he put himself through, not only filming this, but editing it and getting all the resources together to, put this together, and also the hiccups that he ran into, commendable. He's a soldier. He is a soldier. And what he did throughout this process proved to me that he really wants it, that he really loves it, that this is really his passion, and that he will stop at nothing to make sure that his vision gets realized. And I'm sticking with him. Like, I didn't really have a question in the first place of whether I was sticking with him, but if there were to be any doubt in anyone's mind, it should have been erased the night that film premiered on February 1st. It's like there, and I can't give enough props to this man. And I know he's received all the love and all the support in the world, and I've already told him a lot about this, but there's no way that I can verbally give him the credit that he is due. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. He's a very talented and amazing individual. And I believe that in my speech I did mention this. He is the one who reignited the fire in me with acting and wanting me to really get back into film and pursuing my career. And I'm not going to lie, if it wasn't for that dude right there, I probably would not have done half, or even, actually, no, I'm going to give it like 75% of the stuff I've done since I met him would not have happened without him. And not saying that he's the one that got me those things, but he is the one that, like I said, reignited that fire within me, and also put me in a position to not only network, but to just figure out the things that I want and chase after the dream that I had put on hold since I started college. And I will be forever thankful for him, to him, and yeah, this just I just got nothing but love for the guy. But yeah, like I said, this was gonna be a short one. I wanted to just, express my love for everyone that came out and, showed up to the premiere, the people that, applauded us and thanked me and thanked Philip and, gave us our flowers, both figuratively and literally. It was a very surreal feeling, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And I wanted to just express my utmost gratitude to not only the people that I worked with and people that helped put it together, but the people that came out and showed love, and that showed me that, y'all really did support our dreams, and we're not going to let that support go to waste. And yeah, we're going to take a little break right now because, like I said, man, figuring all this out and trying to get this set up was a task, to say the least. So we're going to take a little break. kind of, decompress, let everything ride out, still, ride that cloud nine feeling, and give it just a little bit of time. And then once that time is done, get back to work and grind it out and on to the next thing. Because we have a vision. We have a vision, and then we have not only the potential, but the ability to realize that vision, and best believe we're going to do it to the best of our ability. So that's what we're doing. And then, like I said, I always have my own personal, things that I'm doing with my acting career. I don't know if I said this on a previous podcast, but I am going back to school full time. However, I already am setting things up or have things set up for this year that I want to do. And this year is going to be that year that really solidifies getting everything in a proper place with not only finishing out my degree, but seeing what I can do as far as my movement within the industry and getting myself solidified in a certain place that I want to get to. So I'm 2025. The first month of 2025 has been a banger. Has probably been one of the best first months of the year of my life. And if it continues in this direction, not gonna lie, 2025 might be the year that goes down in history for me. And I'm looking forward to what's in store. But thank you guys for, this small little update / just expression of gratitude that I wanted to get out there. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you do have any ideas for, future episodes, or if you have anything that you wanted me to talk about or address, whether it's just, about life in general, society in general, or whether it's about me and acting and stuff like that, feel free to comment in the section below, of course. Now, if you watched this video and didn't like and subscribe when you clicked on it, now would be a good time at the end, just saying, I'm giving you that chance, you know what I'm saying? But, of course, I know that's not how it always works. But, once again, thank you guys for joining. Love y'all. And, hey, until next time. We really did that. Oh, Midnight was a movie. Literally.